Hi there, you're welcome to my channel where I discuss life transforming stories that will teach us lessons. These stories are based on true life events. Today, I tell the story of a young man who had lived in the city of Lagos for 2 years. Actually, before he had been transferred to Lagos, he used to work in another city called Ibadan. He used to be a banker. Actually, he was a marketer. It so happened that the boss of this guy contacted him and asked him all of a sudden, Tolu, would you like to relocate to Lagos? Tolu was confused at first. Relocate to Lagos? Ogami, how do you mean? Ogami means my boss. I don't understand. How do you mean relocate to Lagos? Tolu, a role has just come up. Would you be interested in continuing your role as a marketer, but this time around in Lagos? Tolu had heard a lot about Lagos. He had lived in Lagos briefly, but did not really like his experience because of the stress. So Tolu asked his boss, "Oh boss, okay, I like the idea of going to Lagos. What's going to change about my contract? Is there going to be any salary increment? What's going to change?" So Tolu's boss gave him the details of his new role. He said, you're going to be a boss. You're going to handle over 100 employees. Tolu was thrilled. 100 employees? From zero? Yes, I believe in you, his boss said. I've seen what you can handle, and I know you will handle them well. We have decided to employ over 100 employees in Lagos, and these guys are going to be marketers, and you are going to be their team lead. He said, oh yes boss, I'm in. What else is there for me to know? The boss said, also, you're going to be given targets, and these targets are going to be really hard. They're actually going to be really high. So I wanted you to promise me, Tolu, that you're going to live up to these targets. Tolu said, Ogami, trust me now. I'm ready to do this job. The boss said, I trust you. Tolu said, when can I resume? The boss said, immediately. Ha! Tolu said, okay boss, is there any other information for me to know? The boss said, that's all. Any other details will be sent to you via mail. Bam! The phone was off. Tolu paused. He looked at his phone. He looked at himself in the mirror. He had mixed emotions. His boss had not told him if his salary was going to be increased, because his salary was just okay for Ibadan. And Lagos was a more expensive place to live in terms of house rent, transportation, and general cost of living. Well, he said he was going to wait for the mail to come through from the HR department and see if he would have any salary increment to cement his joy. So the day went. This phone call happened in the evening, and he had a sleepless night, thinking about this change. The following day came. Lo and behold, in the afternoon, he received an email. The email had all the details his boss has told him about him overseeing 100 new employees as marketers who will be working under him. So he was supposed to drive them, supervise them, give them targets, as he would also have a bigger target to manage. So he went through the new offer and terms of employment. No change as per the salary. It was the same salary. Tolu felt bothered. Like, on one hand, he was happy about the opportunity of going to a more vibrant location, because Lagos is considered a better place for career prospects. He will have it easier getting people on board to join his banking industry. On the other hand, he looked at it This is more work given unto me. Managing 100 staff without any salary increment. He felt this was unfair. So he called his boss. He said, "Boss, thank you, I've seen the offer from the HR. But I noticed no salary increment." Yeah. The boss said, "Tolu, I know. I have a plan for you. I'm going to watch your performance for 3 months. And if I'm satisfied, I'm going to give you a promotion. And the promotion will entail a salary increment." So Tolu said, "Okay, boss. Right here in Lagos, here I come." The conversation ended. And within 3 days, Tolu packed his bag and baggage, sold all his things, sold the things he needed to sell because he didn't want to move every single thing to Lagos, and he moved to Lagos. So, as he got to Lagos, he had sorted his house rent and all that. So he resumed for his role, and when he got to his office, he met his boss and another boss. He was called into the room where they were. "Tolu, we want to have a discussion with you. There are 2 areas in Lagos that need attention. However, we're going to allow you to choose the area you're comfortable with. Would you rather be posted to oversee the marketers in the island?" So Lagos has an area called the island, and Lagos has the mainland area. "Would you rather have to oversee those on the island, or would you rather prefer to be resident on the mainland?" Tolu thought about it. The 2 bosses looked at themselves. They thought it would be an easy answer for Tolu. Tolu said, "Boss, please, can you give me 5 minutes to think about this? I promise to get back to you in about 5 minutes. Just give me some time." The boss said, "Okay, go ahead. Go and have a think about it." Tolu went to the gents, and as he was easing himself, he had a prayer with God. He said, "God, I'm posed with 2 options, either to work on the mainland or on the island, and I do not want to just make a choice based on what most people will choose. Please choose for me, Lord." That was a simple prayer. And while making that prayer, he thought about it. Mainland, island. As he mentioned island in his heart, he did not feel so much at peace with when he mentioned the mainland. So he said, "You know what? I'm going to go with my heart. This is God speaking to me most likely." So he went back to his boss. "Boss, I've made a choice. I would like to work on the mainland." The 2 bosses could not hide their surprise. "Mainland? Tolu, are you sure of your choice? Do you know are you familiar with the mainland and island? Island is where we have Victoria Island, is where we have Ikoyi, is where we have richer folks. It would be easier to market to people on the island." Tolu said, I know. I feel I'll take a challenge and choose the mainland." So the boss said, "That's why I like you, Tolu. Anyway, I trust you." Well, to cut the long story short, Tolu started with the job. All the marketers assigned under him resumed. They all worked really hard. It was field marketing these guys were doing. They came up with strategies to try and open as many accounts as possible for his bank. Strategies like organizing disco music, some music on the streets, on the market streets, on the mainland, with the DSs using the opportunity to wear their uniforms that had the logo of the bank on, and then they distributed pamphlets and had the forms right there and then, encouraging different market women and men to open accounts with the bank. And this was a strategy he was using. Under Tolu, the mainland branches under him soared. The account numbers soared because a lot of people were just opening accounts and were putting in money there. So Tolu really worked very hard, and the figures were showing. 2 months passed, 3 months passed, 4 months passed, and Tolu noticed that his boss always said, "Thumbs up, congratulations, you're doing well." But his boss never talked about a review. So Tolu decided by the 5th month, oh, it's time to remind my boss about our conversation earlier on. I mean, he told me by the 3rd month, he will look at my performance. He has been giving me a thumbs up, but he's not talking about my promotion. So Tolu went to his boss's office. His boss happens to be working on the island. I said, "Please, I would like to have a meeting with you." "Boss, please, I would like to have a discussion with you," he said. His boss would not even look at his face. He noticed the body language of his boss. "Yes, Tolu, what are you doing here by this time? You should be out on the fields with your team members." "Yes, sir, I will be going, but I just want to have discussion because I'm not too happy." "Oh, okay, let's hear it." "Sir, you remember when I was taking up this role, you promised that by month 3, my salary will be reviewed and I'll be promoted based on my performance. And I noticed that all the targets you have been giving to me and my team members, we have always been exceeding it. Sir, when will my promotion come up? Because I've been thinking about it so much." His boss said, "Tolu, this is the banking sector. The promotion will happen. It's not yet time according to the company's calendar. Don't worry, when it's time in the company's calendar, you're going to be the next to be promoted." So, but Tolu did not want to argue with his boss. He said, "Okay, sir, I will go off to my duty," and he left. So Tolu continued for the 5th month, 6th month, 7th month, 8th month. It was a year. No promotion, no salary increment, no review, no info from the boss. It was just more targets, increase in targets. So Tolu spoke to himself and said, "I have to do something about this." So one day during the lunch break, I decided to take a stroll. And as I was taking a stroll, he noticed another company. This company was just 2 buildings away from his company address, and he realized that this company had it looked a bit abandoned. Even though it looked abandoned, he noticed that the company had company cars with the names coming out of it, but the building itself was not looking attractive in any way. So Tolu decided there must be something about this organization. The building doesn't look cool. It's not even branded. The company name is not on the gates, nothing. But they have beautiful looking company cars that come out, that go in. These are staff. This is the company that gives staff vehicles. And let me even find out what they do in this company. So when he approached the gate, he met the security guards, 2 of them. And do you know what Tolu did? Tolu bowed down to the security guards. Now, hear me out. In Nigeria, I don't know about other climes, but in Nigeria, security guards, unfortunately, are not usually accorded respect. Even if they have white beard or they're looking older as men, usually you don't have people calling them sir. You don't have people bowing down to greet them. So Tolu bowed to the security guards and said, "Good afternoon, sirs." So they looked dismayed. They stood up to meet him. "Good afternoon, sir. What can we do for you?" He was all decked up in his suit, the way typical bankers dress. "What can we do for you?" He said, "Please, sirs, I need your help. I walk close by, 2 buildings away." He mentioned the name of his bank. "But I've been noticing your organization, and I just want to know if do you have any idea if this company is currently recruiting? Do you have any idea of the recruitment process?" I mean, this was Tolu talking with security guards. He did not look down at them. He was asking them for details. And guess what happened? Just there and then, one of the security guards came closer. He said, "Young man, there is a man coming out of the building just now. That is the HR of this company. Do you know what you can do, young man? Go closer to him. Talk to him about recruitment. Talk to him about your interest. Please, don't tell him we told you anything." And he sat down. So Tolu adjusted his tie and walked over to the HR the HR Oga, that's the head of HR, who was coming out of the building about entering his car. He was also going on a lunch break. So Tolu stopped him and said, "Excuse me, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Please, I just want to. I'm sorry for taking your time. Can I just have a little chat with you, please, sir?" He so introduced himself, told him where he works, told him about his marketing skills, and just told him right away that I'm interested in the sales role in the organization. I can forward my CV to you right away. It's in my phone. I'm interested in working in the organization. He gave a very good pitch, being a good salesman. The HR man was impressed. He said, "Okay, I'm rushing out right now, but do you know what?" He gave him his card. Forward your email to this. Forward your CV to this email as soon as possible. So Tolu got what he wanted and walked away. To cut the long story short, Tolu got the job in this organization. This organization, within 1 year of working there, his salary was 3 times what he was earning from where he was coming from. People do not even know much about this organization. He got more details from the security guards. His breakthrough even came through the security guards. Because you cannot even enter the main building, without an appointment. The security guards gave him heads up on who the HR was because he didn't even know anybody. He got the job, and guess what? This job also sponsored him even to get another job in another country under the same company. What's the lesson of this story? I'm going to mention one lesson, and I will allow you, lovely viewers, to also write the lessons you have learned from this story. One, I would say humility is the main lesson from this story, because the Bible is clear. I'm a Christian, and I believe that the word of God is yes and amen. No lies in there. It says humility raises you up. If you want to rise higher in life, paraphrasing, you need to be a humble person. But to fall, pride comes before a fall. It's usually proud people that do not get the needed promotion, they do not get the needed upliftment that happens. What if he looked down on those security guards, trampled all over them, and just said, "I need to go in there"? And if he had messed it up from the beginning, if he had not bowed down a bit or given them the accorded respect, because he even realized they were older than him, calling them sirs and all that, they would not have warmed up to him. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you